actually born not too far from here in Concord, New Hampshire, so I'm one of you. I went to school in Hopkinton, and I lived in Hopkinton, just down the street from where Ben lives right now. So, but in 1995, I moved with my husband and a whole bunch of dogs up to Alaska. And I lived there for 25 years. And while I was there, I did a lot of sled dog racing. And one of the races I did was the Iditarod. And I did it 6 times. I finished 4 times, and I ran it 6. So it was quite the experience. So what I'm going to show you right now is I've brought some slides, some pictures, and I'm sure that you guys, I know you've been studying the Iditarod, and you've probably seen some of these pictures already, and you know quite a bit about it as well. But if you have questions anytime, you can pipe up, okay? So the one thing to know about the Iditarod is that when it was created, the first race was run in 1973, so long time before you guys were born. But the reason that it was created was because Alaska used to use dog teams for transportation. They used it to deliver the mail and food and to get from town to town. But what happened, and here's one of the pretty dog teams that they used, and this is actually a man named Leonard Sepola and his Siberian Huskies. And one of the interesting things is that when I ran my first Iditarod, I had Siberian Huskies as well. So they looked a lot like this team here. But then what happened? Do you guys know what happened, Ben?
Then they used planes for transportation.
Yeah, that's right. So what happened, that meant that the people of Alaska didn't need the dog teams as much, if at all, because they could use the planes to go from town to town. And planes, even today, are really important in Alaska because many of the towns you can't drive there. You might be able to take a boat, you can definitely take a plane, and in the winter you can still take dog teams or snow machines. I think you guys know about that. So, one of the things that I spent a lot of time doing in preparation for running the Iditarod is I bred my own team. I raised them from puppies. These were a few of them. And generally, this is another group. This is my VW litter. This is Beetle, Jetta, and I'm throwing a bunch on the third, but anyways. So I did raise them from puppies, and most of the people who run the Iditarod also raise their dogs from puppies as well. And what do we need to do to get them ready for the race? Go ahead.
Practice.
Practice, right. What do you think? What's yours?
Preparing them for a long time of running.
Correct, yeah. Riley?
Lots of food.
Lots of food, yep. I feed them a lot of food. And what do you think?
Gear.
Gear, yep. I brought some of the gear that I use too. But this picture here shows that we have to do a lot of preparation even before there's snow. So we start training the dogs for the race in August, often. And you'll see what I'm riding on there is a 4-wheeler, an ATV. I think some of you guys know that, a 4-wheeler? Mm-hmm. Right, okay. So before we even run the race, we probably train the dogs over 2,000 miles. Because the race is 1,000 miles, right? So we have to spend a lot of time with our dogs on the trail. This is another picture. So as we get closer to the race, we have snow to run on, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're able to run on a sled on the snow. Just like you see snow machiners out there on the trails and whatever, we take our dog teams. And this is a really beautiful area near my house in Fairbanks. the Fairbanks area. The other thing we do is, this was actually a picture of a trip that I took my dog team on in the spring. And we actually take them up to the gates of the Arctic, which is a national park. And they don't allow snow machines there, so they only allow dog teams. So we're actually able to go into the gates of the Arctic and camp out with our dogs. And here, what you're seeing is them pulling a really heavy load. There's probably 500 pounds in that sled, plus me. And it's a dog team of 10. So fortunately I had big dogs, so they were really strong. So the other thing that we do, and this is a picture of me and some of my dogs, you can see the names of some of them, is we run other races before the Iditarod. So in this case, this was a 200-mile race called the Gin-Gin. And the first time I ran the Gin-Gin, I actually won the race, and it was a race dedicated to women only, which was unusual. It was the only race like that, but anyways, I had a lot of really fun friends. Among them, Michelle, who is in the Iditarod race today, and you guys, maybe Michelle Phillips, as well as Paige Rodney, and I'm trying to think, I think those were the only two that were in this particular race. But can you guys read some of the names that are on that team?
What's your name again?
Judy. Yeah, Judy Currier. So, you got a question?
No, I can read some of those. Red, brown, opal.
Yeah.
I think I see a Thor in there too.
So we had a Barney, Fred, and Wilma. That was all, they were all brothers and sisters. And then we had Thor, and Tiva, and Serena, and Tempe. And I think there's probably a few other dogs in there that aren't marked. What's your question?
This is kind of like a tell, but the people in the Iditarod race, they kind of have like 16 dogs.
Yeah, and in some of the shorter races, we only run 12 dogs. And the Iditarod, we do run 16. And when I did my first Iditarod, the first time I had ever run 16 dogs was at the start of the Iditarod, which was a little bit crazy. So this is another picture of my team, and it's actually at like 6 a.m. in the morning when the sun was just rising. And it was a really beautiful trail. And in that particular race, we won that race as well. I was pretty good at the short races. So this
Was
is
that
my,
a long race?
the race that you just saw was just 120 miles. It was long enough. So this is the start of the Iditarod, and what town does it start in? Ben?
Alaska.
Town? City?
I can tell you what town it ends in.
Okay.
So,
No? Yeah. Okay.
I was voting on Michelle Phillips.
Oh, cool. She's a cool person. Yeah.
It starts in Willow.
Yes. Actually, this is the ceremonial start, which is in Anchorage. And so every Saturday, the first Saturday of March, that's where they start the race. But it's only a few miles. We only go like 12 miles in Anchorage. But it's a lot of fun. And there's a lot of people who come and watch. This is my team as well. And the two dogs in lead, that's Phoenix and Athena. This is another year, and the leaders here are Imac and Tacoma. They're really pretty dogs, and good leaders. This is another picture of the start. We'll go on, and then, and this is a good picture because these are two of my first Siberians that I ran, and they were my leaders, and their names were Laika and Suntu. And they finished their first Iditarod in 1999. And they were really beautiful dogs. And this is a picture. It's a really tricky corner in Anchorage, and you actually have to be really careful to not fall over, as a lot of people do. But
lot of people fall over.
Yeah, they do. They tip over. I've got a picture I'll show you in a little bit of a good crash. So this is me and my dog Barney. Barney was one of my great team dogs, and he must have been the best dog ever. Especially.
I had a dog named Barney.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And what?
What places did you finish in the Iditarod?
I was usually, when I ran it, there were a lot of teams, like 80 teams or so. And the best finish, I think, I have to look it up, I think was 26, something like that. Yeah, I didn't finish first, I didn't finish second, and I was happy to finish in the top 30. So, this is the start in Willow. And I'm not sure what year, 2009. And when it starts in Willow, there's a whole bunch of people on the trail, and they're having a big party.
And they're having snow night. I watched it on TV.
Yeah, so they have a barbecue, and they give you out all kinds of food as you drive your dog team by. And you know what the biggest problem for me was? There were so many people on the trail, and I had to go pee. And there was no privacy. I mean, where was I gonna go? I couldn't take my team off the trail or anything. So eventually I did find a really quiet spot on the trail, and I just knelt down behind the sled and I hid. It's a little bit more difficult for women to run and have to take care of that thing. So this is my team as well. So, okay, so now we get into the volunteer part. What do you think it takes to put on this race? What do you think?
A lot of people, the
Yeah.
volunteers set up stakes and nets, the
Yeah.
homeless people.
Yeah. So this is a picture of the trail breakers. And what they do is they put the stakes out that we follow along all the way to Nome. And so these stakes have reflectors on them. So even when we run at night, we can still see where the trail is because we have our headlights, right? And this is one of the headlights that I used to use, and it's really bright and kind of, ooh.
Really bright.
Yeah, so you kind of need that, and actually we have I would have 3 headlights because it was important that I had a backup and that my batteries didn't wear out. So the other volunteers that we see out there are the veterinarians, and I'm sure that you guys have all been to the veterinarian with your animals, right? And so the veterinarians go out to all the checkpoints, and if we have a dog who needs, actually they look at all the dogs during our rest. But if they decide that, or I feel that a dog needs to be sent home, then we will drop the dog and they'll get a free ride, and I'll show you how they do that. So, okay, yeah, this is another volunteer. This is me. After my race days were over, I volunteered as a race judge. So I would go out to checkpoints during the race, and that was my official role as a judge. But I also helped move things around as well. They took a cool picture. So the planes, the pilots. So the pilots are who move everything around on the Iditarod, because like I said, you can't get there from here. You can't use a road, you can't use a car. So the planes, they will ship the dogs back from the checkpoints. And they also are the people who take the straw and all the food that we send out to the checkpoints to keep our dogs happy and keep us happy. So, and I wanted to show you this picture too, because there's the straw that they send out. And this is a friend of mine, Pete Kaiser, and he's got his team all bedded down on that straw that they send out. And this dog, that dog right there, his name is Wizard, and he was born at my house. So this is a picture of a bunch of the dogs all cuddled in that plane that we just saw. And they will put like 10 to possibly 20 dogs in the same plane. And you'd imagine that there'd be a dog fight or something. But they've always managed to do well and get the dogs home safely. And this is another dog, his name was Bodette, and he's also resting on that straw. And this is the straw, I should have put this at the beginning, but this is the straw before the race. They have to ship it out ahead of the race. And you see all these people involved in the race, and they're bagging up the straw to get it out, shipped out. So, you have a question?
And that, it probably takes a lot of helpers from different areas because going 1,000 miles to set out stakes or something is.
Oh yeah. Can you imagine how many stakes they use? Thousands. So it's a big endeavor. Now this is the map, and I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's starting in Anchorage and Willow, and then finishing in Nome. Oh, you have the map over there. Cool. All right, we won't spend any time on that. This picture is my team, and it's early in the race, and it's you kind of get a feel for how big Alaska is and how little there is of any houses or roads or anything like that.
And so it's space.
Yeah, all that space. And this picture is going into Rainy Pass. It's early in the race. Go ahead.
Is that also my team?
Is that what?
Is that also my team?
No, I don't think that is my team. No, not all of these pictures are mine.
Do you go over any mountains?
Yeah, we go through a pass. So, you know how the mountains, you'll have big mountains on either side, and then you'll have a lower spot in the middle? That's where we go, yeah. So you'll see, I don't know, the one place we go is Rainy Pass. So this picture here is the crash that I mentioned before. And there's this place called the Steps, and it's just a really crazy part of this trail early in the race. And I actually had a really bad crash on it once. I hit a tree at the bottom, I had a dog under the sled, I couldn't get my sled off the tree, and I was worried that there I was worried that there were gonna be teams coming behind me. But anyways, we managed to get out and continue on. And fortunately, I did not hurt my sled, which I don't know if you guys heard about Jay Fouché, but she's from New Hampshire and she was running the race this year. And unfortunately, she did crash and hit a tree and hurt her sled, and she ended up having to scratch early in the race. Soon after this, the steps here.
Excuse me?
Yep.
That was the back of the sled crashed in first?
What if the back of the sled crashed in first?
Then the back of the sled. Then it would tip over the sled, and it would make it so the person who was on the sled get hurt because they would be under the sled.
Could be, yeah. All right. So this is a picture of my team soon after the steps, and here my team is resting in the sun, and I'm changing my plastic, which is on the sled. So we use different kinds of runner plastic depending on the heat of the day and what the snow conditions are.
So
you can see some of the equipment that I have. Go ahead.
The plastic on the sled that you're taking off is really in my color. It's green and I like it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Really in my color.
So one of the things that you can see here is you can see I have a cooker out. We have to make our own water whenever we stop and feed the dogs. And you can see I have my sleeping bag outside and a cooler and some water for myself as well. This is not me, but this is the area around Rainy Pass. It's really quite beautiful. And then at night, one of the things we do is, you guys probably wondered about, is we do run the dogs at night. We don't run them 24 hours a day, but we will run them 6 hours, and then we'll rest 6 hours, and we'll run 6 hours, and rest 6 hours. So here is a nice picture with the northern lights.
I've actually seen the northern lights.
I bet I have. Have you? Is that what you just said? You did?
Yeah, it was actually in Idaho.
Oh,
We
cool.
could barely see them, but they were there.
Yeah. Ben?
I saw them at my house.
Yeah. And we've been so lucky here the last few years that everybody's gotten to see the northern lights.
Not me.
No?
Me.
Oh, you'll have to stay up later. Next year. Wait till next winter. This is another picture of early in the race, and it's running on ice. It's just all frozen ice. It's very slippery, and it's hard to manage a team. But as long as you have good leaders, you're good.
So when you put the plastic on the sled, does it make the sled move?
It helps it move. Yep. So we don't run on just metal. We put plastic on, and the plastic moves really well. So this picture is a place called the Burn, and the Burn is notorious for having no snow. But this year during the race they had a lot of snow, and they were really lucky. But for me, running on the Burn was like the craziest experience because I couldn't use my brake. And it was early enough in the race that the dogs are really strong and happy and going really fast, and it's just it really beats you up quite a bit. But you get a feel for it here. It's like, wow, how are you gonna stop that team if there's no snow to put your snow hook in? So this picture is another a little bit later in the team. It's near a place called McGrath. And the two lead dogs there are Weasley and Hooch. And that's actually not me on the runners, that's a friend of mine who leased the dogs. And, but those were my dogs. Okay, so this, I have to remember, I think this is Ophir or Dakota. But it kind of gives you a feel as the race moves along in Alaska, the different terrain. We're not in the mountains anymore here. We're in more of a flat area with a lot of open space. Question?
Did you fall in the ice?
Oh, I'm sure I fell many times, yep.
No.
But not in the ice, on the ice. It was frozen, so I didn't have to move. But actually, one time I'll tell you a story about a time I was training my dogs. And I thought I could get across this creek, and it turns out that the ice wasn't as solid as it should be, and I did get wet, and it was very cold. And by the time I got out of the water and got my team, these are the pants I was wearing, and they were a frozen block. I mean, I could have stood them up. It was great. So I'll move along here. These are some pictures from the night at the different checkpoints that we'd stay at. And you can see that the teams are camped out, and everybody's using their headlights, and what's that? I threw that one at him just to throw you guys off. That's a fake sled dog, that's not a sled dog. That's my dog Morse. So this is a picture of the Yukon River. So you guys have seen that the trail goes on the Yukon River for quite a while, actually. And it's a huge, huge river. There's nothing like that here in New England. You'd have to take the Merrimack River and multiply it by 5, I think. Okay, we have other questions too. What's your question?
Do the sled dog teams go over hills?
Yep. We have to train them to go over the hills. Yep. What's your question?
Is the ice strong?
Yeah.
And I will tell you my name.
What's your name?
My name is Alaric.
Lauren?
Alaric.
Alaric. Okay, I gotcha. So here is a picture of it's actually Dallas Seavey going onto the Yukon River. And you kind of get a feel for how big it is there. This is also the Yukon River. Now what's that?
A human sleeping on the head.
So you see a whole bunch of dogs there sleeping, and that's the musher sleeping there as well. It must have been a warm day. So he was comfortable sleeping with the dogs. And what's that?
Another musher.
So, you know, when mushers get tired, they don't care where they sleep. They'll sleep anywhere. And this is very common. I can't tell you how many floors I slept on during the race.
You slept on floors?
Yeah,
On the lake?
yep, on the floor, it didn't matter. So this is a picture of my team, and it's coming into a place called Unalakleet. And this is on the coast.
The mountains are beautiful.
Yeah, look at the mountains
They look
there.
like big hills.
So this is where we got off the Yukon River, and now we're into the mountains
Hey, I
again.
can see a steak.
Yeah,
Yeah. A steak? Yeah, another one. Right there.
Yeah.
Purple.
so the two dogs leading here are Hermione. You guys know who Hermione is, right? And Pebbles.
Who's Pebbles?
Pebbles. This here is a picture of the Blueberry Hills.
I see some of the sticks things.
Yep, you saw that. And this picture is a picture of Rick Swenson, who was my neighbor in Two Rivers, and he's on glare ice outside of Unalakleet. And so
And it's cracky ice, so
Yeah.
we...
it's very solid though. And this is another pretty picture of the team. Now this picture is where the teams are right now. So in the hills between Elam and White Mountain and Nome. And sometimes you'll see, there's, I want to say bison, but they're not bison. They're muskox up there. They have big herds of muskox.
I see 3 of them.
Yeah. Now this, you see that tripod there with the sticks? Some places are so windy in Alaska that you can't, that the markers won't stay up. So they put these tripod markers so that we still have a trail to follow. And you can see how windy it was. And this is the finish in Nome. So Nome is a city, just like Henniker. A lot different, but similar. And this is my team actually finishing in Nome. You can see the dog
That's the Iditarod one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And here's the finish line. And
You crossed it first.
yep. And that's my team there. And who's that, Ben? Mhm. Huh?
Papa's mom.
Yep, that's your great grandmother. So my mom came came to the finish one year, and she joined me there. So that's all the slides I have. What I thought, you guys have already asked a lot of questions, but if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. Oops, did it turn off? No, it didn't. But I thought, one of the things that you guys probably don't get to do is wear musher gear. What do you think? You want to see how heavy it is?
Yeah.
And we can have you try it on, and you can actually put it on with the Iditarod bib.
A bib?
Yep. And then
That's
what are
a baby
these?
Mittens.
What kind of fur do you think that is?
Bear.
No.
Beaver.
Beaver. Who said beaver?
Beaver.
There you go. These are beaver mitts. And they used to be bigger, but the older they got, I had to modify them. But if you feel them, they're really soft and they're really warm. So most of the gear that we wear is made out of beaver fur. Yep. But not all of it. What is this?
A scarf.
Well,
Like a neck warmer.
well, this is what the
It
mushers
looks like
wear.
the French, but in brown.
It's called a ruff. And this is made out of different fur. So this actually is wolf fur, and then there's beaver, and there's
Muskox.
I'm drawing a blank on the other fur. Sorry about that. But there's 3 different kinds of fur here, and they're really soft. And one of the things that the ruff does is it keeps your face warm because it breaks the cold air coming in towards your head, towards your face. So you want to, when you're in really cold weather like these mushers are, you really have to protect your skin from getting frozen, right? Has anybody ever gotten frostbite? You got frostbite? No, but maybe close, huh? Really cold. So this is another beaver hat. It is super warm. Can you imagine? And you know what Now these mitts, I actually won in a race. And the
Polar bear. Polar bear. Polar bear.
No.
Penguins.
Oh, seals. So this is seal fur.
Is it on the ice? Not in the ice.
Well, yeah, in and on the ice. They live both, but these are really warm.
Why do you have ropes on them?
That's so that it will stay on my neck. So the native people of Alaska, they still make a lot of clothing out of fur because it keeps them warm. So this is how we would wear the mitts so that we wouldn't lose them. How many of you have lost mittens? Right. So during the race, we really don't want to lose our mittens. So we have them tied so that we won't lose them.
Do you have spares?
Yep. We always carry spares as well.
How many?
Not usually just another pair. And you just hope that you don't lose anything. So these are the pants that I wore, and they're really, you guys can come up and feel them, because they're really pretty heavy.
We can form a line,
You
guys.
know, there's a lot of insulation in there.
This is cool. That's so heavy.
Yeah. Can you imagine wearing that? Skiing or something like that?
No, I ski, but like,
Wow.
that's
Now, and feel the furs. You can actually put these on if you want to.
Guys, can we form a line going that way?
And
Those are big. It's gonna be the size of your dogs. It's gonna be the size. It's gonna be the size of you.
Okay, next one.
My turn. Guys, make sure you form a line. Oh my gosh, Leora's next.
You guys can try on the other
It's
ones
like
too.
putting you in a bag.
Discovery. I heard Miss Judy invite you. If you can double check, but she invited you could try on other coats if you'd like.
I'm gonna put this on my trunk.
Alright, arms up.
I'm gonna totally put this on my trunk. Dawson, are you using it? Oh my gosh. Give it 5,000 years old, you'll fit. That was hilarious.
Where are you?
That's huge.
You can put my boots on.
Where's Kaylee? Where are you, Kaylee?
You guys are silly. Alright, stand for a picture. Here. Okay.
Guys, can you believe these bibs and jackets have been on the Iditarod Trail?
That's hilarious.
So
Hey, that's not your spot. You can't sit now. You can't sit there. See what Ben looks like.
Where is Ben?
Ben. I can't find Ben. Wow, Ben's really tall.
Alright, what's your name?
Brennan.
Brennan?
You can put it on his backwards, or is there a
Looks like
backwards?
it might be the perfect fit.
Oh.
Maybe that's what Miss Cadence did outside and all that breeze.
Okay.
Hey, what are you doing? My
Oh,
turn.
you're done already, too.
Hey, no. The tag.
Okay.
Lulu, I can't find you. Where did you sit? She found a snake on. No, it's not the tiniest person ever. Sit here. Duh.
Wow. It disappears.
Who is that? Brandon.
Okay. The name I can't pronounce.
Dawson. He's gonna disappear.
Look at their
How
name.
did Lauren go?
You want a picture of Lauren? Okay.
I'm gonna try it. Oh, Maggie, you're probably gonna have the best fit of us all.
Oh, I think so.
I want it.
She should put hands on too.
Why do you have the best fit? Alright.
There, make it your name.
She's a mushy Mushy Raggy. Look at bushy. Where the boots. Maggie, that was like.
There you go.
Maggie, you could be a mush or something. There's the thing. Butter the butter. Okay,
Oh my.
go.
Look at the mittens.
Oh, okay. So we got plenty of time.
This is the potty.
That Ben had on?
What?
Your arm.
Yeah.
Imagine you put on the boots. You just pick off. Oh my gosh!
What happened?
Oh, easy.
Easy, easy, easy. It's okay. Just take your time.
Where does it hurt the most? Right here?
Her legs go.
So when you put it in, did you put it over this side? Did you fall into it? Do you need an ice pack or anything?
Okay, you guys get to guess what's in here. Ben guesses.
Sorry,
sleeping bag. What else?
excuse me.
Oh, it could be.
Wait. I want to try to see how it be a sleeping bag.
So this is a really good sleeping bag because you know what? When you know how cold it was during the race this year, it was up to like 60 below.
Whoa! I thought the one 12 coming here was cold.
So this ends up being, this is a sleeping bag that's rated for 40 below, but actually it's probably good for 60.
Yep.
And it doesn't look that big when it's in the bag.
Whoa!
But once it's made out of feathers,
Okay,
right?
I want to bring this home and sleep in it instead of my unicorn one. Oh my gosh, you can almost wear it. Bye, Cooper. Bye, guys. Where did Kaylee go? Wait, what is it?
Oh, yeah.
You guys are all coming out with staticky hair.
Okay, we found him. Okay.
I'm back in line.
Oh my
I'm
God.
back in line! Back in line! Back in line! Back in line!
Did you guys hear that it's rated for 60 below zero?
No.
Well, yes, right. Rated over zero, correct for that. But could possibly possibly
not very
work
heavy
for
though, right?
60 below
I think
zero.
below
Pretty
below
light.
12.
My goodness, I wonder what the coldest
But it's
temperature
warm, right?
Houston is.
Yeah.
That's what's important.
Miss Judy, what's the coldest temperature you've ever been in?
I'm definitely going back in life.
Well, I lived in Fairbanks, so we had 60
I'm
below.
going back in life.
But
That's so
during the race, it was usually, I think the coldest it got was 50 below.
I'm back in life.
So what happens when you get really, when you stay outside all the time, your body gets used to the cold. So you kind of adapt to it. You still have to protect yourself, but it actually doesn't feel that bad.
Again. What if you back in
Oh, you want to zip in there?
Yeah. Hey, what
Zip
if,
all the way.
imagine if we had a bunch of these and we had to pick which one the person was in. That'd be funny.
Oh, that would be. Okay, how many people can I put in there?
You're in the back of the line.
Okay, Ben wants to be zipped in.
Go in there. Yeah. Peter, Where's Ben? Where is Ben? Where's Ben? Oh, there he is. He's up there in Florida. Ben is. He's a big roll.
Good thing nobody's claustrophobic,
He's
eh?
a wall toilet. What?
Scared of.
You're gonna be like I'm scared of Bennett. Here. Yeah, I'm holding my ankle. Actually, go back to night if you want
Good
it.
idea.
But this was not. Yeah.
Have you guys ever had your zipper stuck on your coat before? Or
Yeah,
that's
I
about
just
that, right?
decorated it out.
Yeah.
Do you still use this sleeping bag occasionally?
Yeah, you know,
Be careful, Laura.
some of the mushrooms were complaining this year because they got wet, and so their boots and everything got frozen, and they couldn't get their boots off without really thawing them out.
I'm definitely going in again.
Okay, I think we're done.
I want to go.
Did you hear Miss Judy's
So,
suggestion? Did
Do
you
you
hear
guys
what she
have any more
suggested?
questions?
Let's get a happy
Knox, would you like to join me over here? There's one seat for
8
Knox,
minutes.
Do you know where the mushers are today?
Alaska.
please.
Obviously in Alaska. You are
Alaska.
Alaska.
You're White Mountain.
White Mountain.
No, you are.
So how many miles
They're
do
in
we
here
have
right
to
now,
go
Maggie.
to finish?
No, that's White Mountain.
No, from White Mountain.
He's gonna put that
It's about
there.
88 miles.
Okay, 88. That's so 88 miles.
Yeah, it seems like
88 miles.
Yeah.
Wait, not in the safety?
Oh, I guess
Safety.
right.
I'm voting for Michelle. Phillips.
Yep, so who's your favorite musher?
Michelle Phillips.
Yours is Michelle. What?
Jesse Holmes.
Oh, 'cause you like the
Jesse
winner.
Mine is Jesse Holmes.
What's yours? Who's yours? Jesse Holmes.
From the beginning.
Oh, okay, and yours was
Jesse Holmes.
right from the start?
No, it
Because he won
wasn't.
last year?
You said Kaylee, it wasn't.
You said
Not
Jeff
mine.
or something.
It was,
No,
Kaylee,
they
you
both,
said Jeff.
they both begin with a J.
You said Jeff.
I voted for Paige.
Paige is a good choice. Paige is a really good person. And she's had a very difficult year. I don't know if you guys know much about Paige, but she had breast cancer this year.
Wow.
So she was in treatment until November, I think.
Jesse Holmes.
Okay, yeah.
Dawson went by but it looks like he's turned up in another musher. Where's Mr. Dawson? Onto this line.
How many women were in the race this year? Did you guys count?
Thirty something.
There's usually about 30% women year to year.
But I vote for Jesse. I do not Jesse. Now feel her.
Right.
I like her.
She's a very
Man
cool
body.
person.
I was man body. Jeff. I'm
Jeff Peter?
11.
Jeff's a good guy.
11 girls.
What's your
10
name?
or 11 girls.
Laura?
Laura.
Laura.
Leora.
How can did you forget your name,
Leora? Can you tell us
Leora.
Leora.
I thought those was rabbit
Sorry.
Leora. Like my name is
Addison?
Hey!
Leora.
Yeah.
Friends, do you have any
How many of you have
questions?
been on a sled dog ride? Any of you?
No, but we take out our seesaw and strap a bunch of things to it, and then we hook a bunch of people up to it. First 10 girls! Well, we usually just hold on to it. First 10 girls! Right.
What?
10. No, 10 or 11.
10 women or 11? Yeah. Actually, one scratch. So maybe that's 11.
Mhm.
Okay, there's a spot right here.
Do you guys have any questions?
Okay.
Do you have a
Do
question?
you still have the sled dogs you had when you did the race last time? Like the last time you did that?
Wait, am
I do have one sled dog at home.
Break the
And he's 15 years old.
Break the
What?
And dog ears are
Break the
human
rocks.
years.
I'm sorry.
Break the
And dog ears
rock.
are human years.
Cute.
Break the
Human
heart.
ears, yeah. So
Break
he's
the
very
volcano. Break the volcano. With the jackhammer.
Leora, did you know she's so sharing? I think she's taking questions. Do you have any?
I don't know. Kind of. Do you go to Alaska to go train dogs for people to sled?
No, I haven't been to Alaska for 5 years now. I live in Vermont now.
So that you don't have a house in Alaska anymore?
No,
My great grandma went on a cruise through Alaska.
we sold some of the dogs, but a lot of the dogs had just, gotten old and retired. Some had new homes. But actually, in 2019, I guess Pete Kaiser won the race, and he had some of my dogs in the team, so that I had sold to him. So that was fun. Yeah. What's that?
How do we get those sticks in the ice?
Sometimes, well, in the ice, they actually have to use a special tool, I think, like a little drill.
And do you need your bib on?
Only at the beginning and the end of the race. So,
You don't have to have it in the middle.
no, actually at the first checkpoint of the race, they take the bib from you and they ship it up to Nome. And then at the second to last checkpoint, which is safety, they give it back to you and then you finish with it on. So, yep. Fortunately, we don't have to wear it the whole time. It would be hard. That's a good question.
How old were your dogs when you did your first race?
My dogs? Most of them were, they were all fairly young. The oldest was probably 5, but they were either 2, 3, 4, or 5 years old. And I started at 16 and I finished with 10.
Lost 6 dogs.
They went home early.
They went cold.
Yeah, they got a free ride home.
Why? Ice. Why?
Mostly because they were tired.
We're getting such a
Yeah.
good way to your house.
Yep, they went home to the house.
And then you just stayed with 10.
Yep, 10 of us went all the way.
Did you how many times did you did you ever drop out of the race?
Yeah, twice. Actually, last 2 times I ran, I dropped out. One time because I had a back issue, so I was having a really difficult time taking care of the dogs. And then the second time, the last time I ran it, my dogs got sick. They had kennel cough. so I wasn't too happy with that, but,
The
at the,
last time we won.
yeah, the last time I ran the race. But the first 4 times I finished, no problems. Yeah. Oh, she had one, sorry.
How did your dogs get sick?
It kind of like you guys get sick. Sometimes you catch a cold from your neighbor, you know? And what happened to me was I was parked next to a team that had kennel cough at the very first checkpoint. And I wasn't aware of it. And that was before we required vaccinations for kennel cough. And so, anyways, that was unfortunate.
How do you get home after the Iditarod, after you get to know?
We fly home in a plane, and the dogs, you know, they all get a free ride too. So one year when I finished, there was a big volcano that blew in Alaska, and all of the planes in Alaska were shut down for a few days. And so normally I would have to fly from Nome to Anchorage and then drive home to Fairbanks. But because of the volcano, they let us take a small plane directly from Nome to Fairbanks. And, but I had to stay there a couple extra days because of the volcano.
I thought you had to sled dog back like in
No,
Yes, you
well, some people do that.
I said
you know.
I was on this
So-
page.
There's volcanoes in Alaska.
What's that? What?
There's
Volcanoes?
volcanoes in Alaska.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of volcanoes.
Or I've
Yeah,
never seen a
interrupted.
volcano in Giraffe.
So one year, Mary Shields, so she was one of the first women to finish the Iditarod, and instead of flying home, she turned her team around and she drove them home, just like you said, on her own, all by herself.
1,000 miles?
No, it wasn't
Did you
1,000 miles,
see
because she went back to
that, Chica?
Fairbanks, but it was like 600 or 700 miles, so, yeah.
That's
I think running
Did you
running
see that?
half a mile is really hard.
Imagine how they would.
And next year in my running club I have to run a mile.
Yeah.
So one of those.
Ooh,
A
What's
thousand
your
miles.
question?
What place did you end in your races?
What place?
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up. That's something I should write down, but like I said, I think the best finish was like 26th. So, yeah, 11 days and something hours.
What was your first big number?
That would be from 99. I don't think I marked that.
That's
Um,
you got signatures?
Yeah, you know, that's one of the things that we do at the end of the race is we ask everybody to sign our bid. In this case, I only wanted people that I had experiences with during the race, and so here's Rick Swenson, who's my neighbor. This is Rhodey, she was one of the judges on the race. This is Matt Hayashida, and he and I ran our dog teams together quite a bit. This is Linwood Fiedler. He's actually from Vermont, and I ran the race quite a bit with him. And Sven Haltman, he's from Switzerland, and he also ran the race with me quite a bit. And this person here is Betty Albert, and she was one of the veterinarians that I really liked on the race. So,
That must be really hard to find all the people.
well, I guess I didn't bring one of the ones with all of the signatures. You know, back when we were running, there were so many mushers that the bib would get filled up with signatures. Yep.
So that reminded me that one day, at Acton Academy, well, remember guys from when we asked people to sign the shirt?
Yeah.
We always do that.
Yeah.
We just run around this small room and then we just like sign signs. That's all.
So you,
Yeah.
so you remember who was in your class? Yep.
You're saying
You would start our
Oh, is that what you do now?
Yeah.
Okay, what a good guy he is.
Thank you, timekeeper. All right, guys. Are you in agreement with Brennan? Are you guys ready to participate in your studio appreciation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for caring for our building.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it.
Thank you for all your appreciation. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Knox, I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna